I know I do. What? And action scenes are just a part that's really ingrained in people's experiences with anime. You'll hear people talk about battle scenes long after the anime's ended saying, whoa, that battle between Saber and Lancer, that's just really cool. But it's also in the action scenes that music plays a really strong role in helping develop what's going on the screen. So when I look at battle themes, I tend to go towards two specific parts of the battle. So the first, you have the pre-battle. So you have like two people butting heads together and just staring each other down, teeth gritting, and a lot of maybe snarling and roaring as they try to intimidate the hell out of each other. And that music is oftentimes really dissonant, really chaotic. It really amps up the tension by making you feel nervous and making you wonder, all right, which of these forces will prevail? And the second step would be the actual battle itself. And this is where battle music gets an opportunity to be really varied in its execution. So you can have battle music that's really grand, epic, and orchestral. So think about, say, maybe the pompous trumpet fanfares that you'll hear. There's also battle themes that are just really fast-paced. The tempo starts really kicking up into high gear, and you really get yourself wrapped up through the intensity that the scene depicts. But there's also a sense of tragedy, too, in some works, where you feel that, yes, this battle is pretty energetic and pretty heartfelt, but really, there's really no winner, because someone that somebody's rooting for will die from the result, and it creates a really sad experience. Now, the first clip that we'll take a look at, I think, illustrates the concept of the pre-battle transitioning over to the actual battle well, and that would be in Kara no Kyokai. Now, Kara no Kyokai allows us to go into the universe created by the author Kimiko Nasu, and it's one that takes place in a modernist setting, but also incorporates elements of the supernatural, along with the aura of mystery that permeates the show as a whole. Now, in this particular scene, the protagonist, Rogi Shiki, is trying to figure out who's causing a bunch of suicides, and she finds out that it's caused by a bunch of ghosts. So this scene depicts her confrontation with the ghosts. So you'll hear the pre-battle stuff with a lot of dissonant airs, including a really, it's a really chaotic electric guitar part that comes in to set the tension up a bit more. But then it transitions into something that's just really smooth and really beautiful. So let's take a look at it. that just beautiful? Kagura fans in the house, anybody? Anybody? Yeah, one of the things that really struck me about the use of music in that scene was just how smoothly and beautifully the last part came out. And it really mirrored Shiki's actions really well as she gracefully dances, pretty much, from ghost to ghost, slashing in one solid, fluid motion. And it's just really beautiful to behold as you watch Shiki's badassery just basically take out all the ghosts. Movement by movement by movement, everything is slow, everything is smooth, and what you get is a beautiful spectacle. Now, Yuki Kajiura doesn't have a monopoly on badassery. So the next scene will be presented by Jade, and we'll look into an older series from that is Return of Robin.
So, here I get to talk about one of my favorite action tracks. In this clip we have a cut from, well, Witch Hunter Robin, in which, well, admittedly, the fight scene choreography isn't really the best thing you'll ever see. But the music certainly saves things from becoming just outright boring.
お客様、シャトルワードの撮影は禁止となっております。
何やってんだよ、小島！お前、なんなんだ、お前らは！お前がいたんだ。何してんだ。お前らは何を出てからんだよ。
So, I love this track because, well, to me at least, it sounds incredibly badass. It's like a mix of rock and orchestra, which makes, like, for this perfect representation of, like, the chaos and conflict that's supposed to happen in a good action scene. Well, what makes it different from what other action tracks do is that it manages to pull off this rock orchestra combination really, really well. So, Taku Iwasaki here, the composer, manages to do this by striking this good balance between the electric guitar and the orchestra, such that like one doesn't overpower the other. So typically in like an action track, a cheap way to make an action track is to just like make a lot of noise. As this track doesn't do that. Instead, it creates this like melodic theme backed up by like the power of the electric guitars to create this really good, memorable track to the action in Witch Hunter Robin. Now.
So basically, Iwasaki is a composer that I definitely enjoy because he just tries to experiment with so much. So you saw what he was able to do in combining rock and orchestra. So this next track basically does something a little bit more unconventional, and it's from Gurren Lagann. Now, when you think of epic tracks, what comes to mind? Well, the quick answer that a lot of people will come to would be really bombastic orchestrals. So think about, say, John Williams' music for the Star Wars movies during the Battle of Yavin. You have that really lively theme backed with all those trumpet fanfares. But here, Iwasaki takes a bit of a different tack by going for a combination of orchestra and rap. Well, Gurren Lagann makes sense. It makes sense within Gurren Lagann's concept because it is a coming-of-age story. And in this scene, we have Simon's Gaiduran Brigade effectively engaging in combat with Saitomander and Wame, two of the Spiral King's major generals. And do listen to it, especially the lyrics, since they're especially relevant, but also the orchestra and how it creates this really boisterous atmosphere that makes it so perfect for this battle.
所詮バカ造か。
Don't you think that's just glorious? I mean, you have the lyrics that are just going on saying, row, fight the power, do the impossible, see the invisible. Nothing is really impossible. And it really gets your heart and blood pumping in a way that makes you just want to get into the battle and cheer for Simon's team. Now, of course, there's an even more badass version of this, which combines orchestra, rap, and opera. Unfortunately, the scene is a little bit spoilerish, so we can't really show it here. Unfortunate, because it's definitely one of the most memorable moments for many of you, I'm sure you've seen during Lagan. So when I talk about anime music in my history with it, a lot of it just goes back to Gunslinger Girl because of the strong impact that the show has made on me. And the anime is pretty twisted because it takes the premise of little girls who get all these physical enhancements put upon them, they're brainwashed, then they're also forced to go out and act as soldiers, doing like soldiers' duties. So either acting as bodyguards, chasing after terrorists, or even going on assassination missions. And if you listen to this clip, you'll notice a couple things that you should definitely pay attention to. The opening starts going up a little bit in tempo, and it creates a rhythm that feels just a little bit disconcerting. You have the chorus part, which makes things really ominous, as though justice were raining down upon the evildoers. In this case, they are evildoers, since the group that this team is chasing after are terrorists. But then also pay attention to the piano melody towards the very end, which is really tragic. And I think this highlights a very good example of battle themes that have a tragic aura to them, because we're dealing with children who are put in situations that they should not be put in. So with that, here's Gunslinger Girl.
いい加減にしないと痛い目に。どうした？何してる？来る！
Really sobering. And in this context, the composer, Toshihiko Sahashi, does a really good job of really showing us the gravity of the situation that the characters are put in. And he does so through a melody that is really reminiscent of a tragic Italian opera. So it's really just a bit of a mind bender to see these girls acting normal in one scene. In another scene, they're just going about ruthlessly cutting down terrorists. And I think the way that Sahashi handles the music in here, it captures the essence of the show, as well as the action on the screen, really beautifully.